we have experienced for the first time ever outsourcing recruiting, thinking that this is a role that a very skilled recruiter can do, right? This should be fine. We've been doing it, me and John, for 6 years. It's been natural and organic of people finding us and word of mouth and content creation. And it didn't go the way we thought it would. You can have the most skilled recruiter. It is technically sales. You are pitching your company to these agents to say, come work with us, be with us, and we're going to help grow your business. And it's an interesting mix between I'm still in analyzing mode around whether we just understand the mission at our core, like John and I do as the owners, right? So where do we draw that line between expressing what we love about momentum and why we did this and our story, right? Because your story really comes best from you, and projecting why you love doing what you're doing can come mainly from you. Once you add another filter through a second person, it gets diluted. And so we are trying to figure out whether that energy just wasn't showing up in the same way that people are seeing online through us, and can it be recreated versus now it just doesn't resonate the same way, because our companies have recruiters all the time, but there's
Right.
something different about the owners being the ones to connect in the sales pitch. And so that is an interesting topic. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying that we tried it and it has not worked yet for us,
Right.
because at the end of the day, they still wanted a second round conversation with the owners. And so are you so big that you say, that's just, I don't have the capacity to do that, and you either take it or leave it? But for us as technically a startup brokerage, for the past 5 years compared to these legacy 30-year companies, it still feels intimate. It still feels like, well, I can access these people and you're telling me I can't access these people, right? It's not like we're
Right.
sitting in these office buildings in like a mega corporation with tons of red tape, and then you never would expect. They see us on social media. They see us out and about with our people. So why can't I have a conversation with that person? So it's an interesting point you drive home around that final tier of sales, which is the largest dollar producing activity in a company. What happens when you hit that? Can you outsource it?
I'm curious if you have like your close rate versus the recruiter's close rate.
Yeah. We started going back and tracking this. I don't have the exact numbers, but our close rate was much higher. And that was when we looked at the data and said, you can be having all these conversations. And so we track appointments, right? So calls, appointments, tracking to get to the appointment. Did they cancel? What's the fall through rate? And then from appointment to conversion, how long did it take? If it took any time at all, or if they never responded again. And that was at the table conversation to converting and joining our company. For some reason, we had a gap there. And so that was where we're like, okay, something's off. And are we even able to hire a recruiter that can do the same things we're doing at this point? And that's what's frustrating. You should be able to.
Right.
But that is the conversation that we are debating right now, because we can't do that forever. Eventually, as you scale and you grow, you're going to have to leverage out to other people, or you're going to hit a certain ceiling. And so that's frustrating, right? For us as
Right.
growth minded and wanting to build a big, beautiful company, that is our next gap in saying, are we able to hire out and leverage every single role? And if we can't, where are John and my key responsibilities going to lie? So maybe we are the recruiters. Maybe we are the sales pitchers. And now I'm going to have to face, okay, do I hire another broker? Do I hire a full on accountant or virtual assistant to help with other tasks? We already have 3 virtual assistants. We have 2 boots on the ground people here helping us. So we've gotten to, this massive company. We're the number 2 independent brokerage in Northeast Florida with about 5 to 6 people.
That's a pretty lean
It's pretty
operation.
lean, right? It's still very, very lean compared to people who have in-house staff all the time, team leaders, assistants, a front desk person, all the things. So we've gotten very streamlined and very lean. It's a constant challenge of how lean can you get? And then what is the
Right.
next role to hire?
Right. Since I know you, Brittany, and like you, I know that, with that conversation about the recruiter, sometimes people say, when you're delegating, oh, if somebody can do something 80% as well as you can, it's worth it because it
Yeah.
frees you up. Personally, I don't agree with it. I have seen enough times that you can delegate and you can find somebody who does it as good or better than you can and still free
Yes.
you up. Like from the meal prep example, you can find a chef or meals that are probably better than I would spend the time to do myself, right? I'm not going to spend every meal like it's Thanksgiving dinner. Or, you know, in the business, it's the same thing. I can find people who can do better email newsletters or better outreach, better video editing, because that's not my zone of genius. And I feel like you can get somebody who's going to recruit as well as you can, and there'll be a way. It's just going to be figuring out, solving that problem of how they can step into those shoes. And it just may be that this guy wasn't the one.